TNA Impact was disappointing tonight, so let's just get that out the way. I get a rating for the show of 5.5 out of 10. Feel like last week started off solid, letting people know these are the people we're behind, stuff like that. And I gave last week's show a 7 out of 10. But this week, 5.5. Let's start off with the first match. You had the System versus Eric Young versus Jonathan Gresham and Steve Macklin. This match was mediocre at best, not the best opening match. Then the ending just felt kind of anticlimactic, like it felt kind of rushed. So I wasn't a big fan of the match. And then Eric Young and his guys, they got the win. They ended up getting jumped after the match, and they took out Jonathan Gresham. So I guess they're writing them off storyline wise, and they're gonna do something else with Eric Young and Steve Macklin. Well, maybe not, because the System could still interfere. But I thought, well, it didn't really matter who won this match, at least not right now, because it doesn't really hold any importance. But then you had the post-match attack, which that's like, okay. And then after that, you had a Joe Hendry promo, which it was cool, and I enjoyed it, because it's like he's telling his life story, and respect to him. He's a huge draw for Impact, and he's starting to grow on me. Like, I'm actually starting to like him, like actually getting to see him wrestle and hear him talk. But the thing is, number one, it was unnecessary. Like, it took time away from the show, and you could have saved that to make it bigger. Had like it as its own YouTube video, and when he was first arriving, like it was kind of him just telling his whole life story. But it's like he's been there for a while, so he could have did this, or he could have did it near Slammiversary, which is usually their biggest event. And then you did building up a show for TNA Genesis on the 19th. So I don't think this was the best time to do that vignette that they had, but it was cool. Respect to him, like I said. Next, you had Savannah Evans versus Lee King Lee. Sorry if I mispronounced her name wrong. Don't know her, but they promoting like Savannah Evans. She in action tonight. They hyping her up like she gonna be wrestling a match. You probably thinking she gonna win. Then it was Zaya Brookside that came out there. And then she was like, "You took me out, and I'm still not clear to compete, but I have somebody else that you took out, and they'll be able to compete." So then she went on to wrestle Lee King Lee, and who was returning. And once again, a very mediocre match. Lee King Lee, she ended up getting the win. So, but I don't think it really did nothing for either one of them at the end of the day. And then, what happened? Jordan Gray, she was pretty hot. I think it was Gia Miller, that's her name. She was trying to interview her, and she was telling Tessa Blanchard to get her ass out there later on in the night. And then we ended up getting to that. And that was one of the best parts of the show, so we'll get to that later. Then each week, TNA, they do like a moment of the week, like a historical moment from that week, like from the 5th to the 12th. So they showed a Kurt Angle and Jeff Jarrett match, some highlights from it. That match made me so sleepy. Like, it really took me out of it, putting it right in the middle of the show. So it's like I not like I missed anything from the show, but I was also trying to watch the college football game that was on, which I'm gonna drop a short for a recap on that in the morning. And yeah, like I was saying, it's like I understand. Like, I get it, it's like a cool moment, but also at the end of the day, you post these moments on YouTube and stuff, so I don't think it's necessarily needed in the show, because you're always posting stuff on YouTube. It's a lot of content on TNA Plus. And then you even got your own TNA channel on some of these televisions, brands and stuff. So it's like, I don't think that's necessary to be in the show, and that the time slot could be allocated to somebody else. Then you had Mike Santana versus the Northern Armory. It was a gauntlet match. First, he went through Judas first. Then he went through Travis. He ended up beating both of them, but the gauntlet match ended in disqualification because he got jumped by the Northern Armory. Because Eric Young was supposed to be his last opponent. They jumped him. Then Eric Young and Mike Santana has been made official for TNA Genesis. It's like, if you weren't gonna do that, like, I figured it was gonna lead to a one-on-one anyways, but you could have had Josh Alexander get the win in the gauntlet match, and Mike Santana say that it wasn't fair because it was 1-on-2 or whatever, or 1-on-3. It's like ending in disqualification, so Mike Santana get the win now, but then he probably won't get it at TNA Genesis. You had the Good Hands versus the Rascals, and I don't think really anything important happened in this match from what I remember. Like, I was watching it and I was just like, this match isn't going anywhere. Like, it wasn't doing it for me. And I want to be fans of the Rascals. Like, they seem like a cool group, but I can't call myself fans yet because they still got to prove it to me. Last week, it seemed like they were high in the promo. This week, they didn't give me the best in-ring work rate. So it's like I gotta keep, and then obviously I gotta keep watching to see. But it's like really the only guy that stood out to me so far is Ace Austin, which we'll get to that later in the show. But the Rascals ended up getting the win, and then I think the Good Hands, they have a match against the Hardy Boys next week, and if they win, they'll be added to the match at Genesis with them, which the Rascals just asked for a title shot, and the Hardy said yes, so it's not like they technically earned it. But we'll see what that leads to. Eric Young and Steve Macklin, they were challenged by Top Dollar and the other guy, not Top, AJ Francis and the other guy to be with them. I forgot their name. They're going to have a tag team match next week. That should be interesting. Then you had a Moose promo. He came out there with Alicia Edwards. And then the way the Moose, like his mic work, I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of it. Like I feel like it sounds, he tries to come off aggressive, but it doesn't really sound that way. So it's like when Alicia Edwards was doing the talking, it sounded a lot better. Then you had some random, what was his name? Andrew Everett came out there to interrupt. Then get an impromptu match and Moose easily get the win. Ace Austin watching in the back. And now the show started off with an Ace Austin and Moose promo package from what happened last week. So I was like, that's a good sign that they're going to build up Ace Austin. But it was like, this match wasn't necessary. Like, you could have had Ace Austin. Obviously, you can't keep doing promos, but it's like, sure, get Moose on TV, but Andrew Everett? Come on now. Then you had Tessa. Now, this was the best part of the show. Jordan Gray, she got in the ring, told Tessa Blanchard to get her ass out there in the ring, and they just started brawling. Like, you cannot stop these two. And I don't really know much about the history of Tessa Blanchard, so I don't know why fans feel the way they do about her. But this segment was amazing. This was the best part of the show. Them brawling, just throwing hands, and them not being able to be contained, absolutely amazing. I enjoyed that. Then the fans were loving it too, like I said. Then you get to the main event, Rhino and Joe Hendry versus Ryan Nemeth and Nick Nemeth. Joe Hendry pinned Ryan Nemeth to get the win. Obviously, Nick Nemeth is in a disadvantage because Ryan looks like a complete idiot out there. Like, he just looks lost. And maybe that's his character. I don't know. But I don't like it. And Rhino, he's obviously slowed down because he's older now. So it's like, he doesn't need to be getting as much TV time as he's getting. Like, he's wrestled on the first two shows of Impact. He doesn't need to be on the one next week. But that's it for my review of TNA. I was disappointed tonight. It wasn't terrible. It was just mediocre at best. And coming off of what they did last week, and especially getting 3 more matches, I was expecting a lot better. But hopefully next week be picked up. But peace out. Leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment your thoughts on Impact tonight.